Injured player down on the field.
Wait, so there's a player injured and it's not the guy who was on the receiving end of a Marvel vs. Capcom air combo through a table?
Damn!
Arena Football, the indoor football league. This league, to me, is most remembered as the football league that had Walls and Kurt Warner played there before breaking out in the NFL. Also, I remember this one clip from forever ago that made me laugh. A fan in the stands physically grabbed a player, which is completely crazy. But what makes it hilarious is that the players from the opposing team came over and dapped him up as if he was part of the squad. What the hell? But Arena Football was popular enough to get multiple games based off of it, and that's what we'll be looking at today. Now, you probably expect me to talk about any of these games, and we will, but we have to start off in the most unexpected place, on a game that 95% of you haven't heard of. Arena Football on Commodore 64. I didn't even know this game was a thing. I was doing research for the PS2 Arena Football game when this caught my eye. Essentially, the game boils down to selections for what type of play you want, and then just hope for the best. Defend the run or the pass. I'll defend the pass. Incomplete. I'll defend the pass again. Incomplete. I'll defend the pass again. Incomplete. Man, I have to take a break from this high-octane action. Boy, on offense, it's the same thing except more options. You can throw to the flat, a screen, or run the ball. Or the bomb, which is just a deep pass, but it can be an explosion for all we know. We can't really see anything. And that's the gameplay, really. And trust me, I'm aware that this is all they had in 1988, but this is a football game in the same vein as pressing all of the buttons on a TV remote and getting a random TV channel is. It's using your imagination and reading, but I'm just like the president from The Simpsons.
I was elected to lead, not to read.
So here's an actual video game, Kurt Warner's Arena Football Unleashed. As I mentioned earlier, Kurt Warner played in the Arena Football League and then went on to the NFL, where he would win a Super Bowl and be a two-time MVP. Of course, making an Arena Football game endorsed by Kurt Warner is a no-brainer. And the AFL branding is here with all the teams. Hey, this game was released in the year 2000. Do you think next year this team had to change their logo? Anyway. When starting this game, you notice it looks really familiar. Yes, this is the spitting image of Midway's NFL Blitz 2000, and that's because it is. It's pretty much a reskin, and that's not a completely bad thing. Blitz is fun, which in turn makes this game fun. Due to this being the AFL and not the NFL, there are some differences. The field is only 50 yards, which doesn't really help this game all that much in my opinion, because in Blitz you can gain humongous amounts of yardage in a single play, but that worked because the field was so big. In this game, touchdowns can happen every 1 to 2 plays. The Arena Football stuff that they added, I feel like it's not even executed right. Like the walls. Arena Football walls are not like this, and right in front of the walls is an out of bounds marker, which doesn't make any sense to me because the whole point of the walls is to eliminate running out of bounds. The biggest change in terms of game mechanics is more violent hits.
Steps up.
Balls!
Yeah, the original Blitz was supposed to have this stuff, but the NFL told them to turn it down. So they implemented it here without the NFL restraints. Outside of that, there's this season mode, which is really bare bones, but it's there. And you have this film vault where you can watch Kurt Warner highlights and watch cheerleaders dance. Oh, come on. What kind of degenerate would watch through this grainy ass PS1 footage of Arena Football League cheerleaders? I'm just getting footage for this video, alright? You can also create a playbook and create a play as well. This is yet another example of a old as dirt forgotten video game doing something that a modern day game can't. One thing that surprises me about this game is the critical reception. This is rated as if it's one of the worst games you could play on the platform, but it's really not. Hey, IGN reviewer from 20 years ago, you spelled Caesars wrong. What kind of guy is like, sure, it's a Blitz reskin, but it could still be pretty fun. If you like Blitz games and don't mind the AFL rule set and want to stomp guys' nutsack into applesauce, then this is the game for you. Can you believe that EA actually had the rights to the Arena Football League? Yeah, these guys wanted a monopoly, not just on the NFL, but the sport of football in general. Arena Football is kind of crazy. You have the unique presentation and have pretty much PS2 Madden, but in Arena Football League. And that's not bad at all, considering that PS2 Madden is really good. Playing this game, you come to the conclusion that it's a mix of Madden, NFL Street, and Blitz the League. Madden because, well, just look at it. NFL Street because the game gives you the opportunity to do some crazy shit. The AFL has these nets. Any ball that hits off of the nets is still in play. This mostly comes into play in regards to field goals and kickoffs, but you can lob a ball off the netting or even the wall and make a catch.
Come on.
Like, that's pretty hype. And speaking of hype, don't forget to hype the video, whatever the hell that is, I guess. In addition to throwing people into the wall, you can fall over it.
I'm okay.
And even be tackled over it. And you can even do these tag team pop-up tackles, treating the players like one of those predator catchers. And like I said, this also reminds me of Blitz the League for a couple of reasons. You're not roiding up and getting your ass beat in nightclubs like you do in that game, but there's a moment where after every play you have free reign to move around your player for a short amount of time. And I'm thinking, there's no way this is what I think it is, right? But sure enough,
Right.
you can tackle after every play is over, though not without punishment. You get a penalty sometimes.
Personal foul, unsportsmanlike conduct, number 2.
I don't give a fuck.
But the fact that this is in the game is something I didn't expect. And something even wilder is the coaches are on the field at all times, and you can run over and just fucking hit them. Even these little cutscenes that happen during the game. Like, come on, this is just PG Blitz, the league.
I can't stop it. I feel good.
So this game is pretty fun, but the main complaints that I have about it are not the faults of the developers, but the weirdo rules of the AFL. Like when it comes to the linebackers, you can't just blitz in or drop back into coverage. You have to stand in this imaginary square where you are penalized if you leave it, unless this arbitrary criteria is filled before you can leave. Like the quarterback scrambling out of the pocket, for instance.
That's stupid.
Yeah. Not a fan of the football equivalent of the fucking sea bear circle from SpongeBob. Also, because the field is so short, you are always in field goal range. Unless you are literally backed up into your own end zone, you can pretty much make anything that's from your own 10-yard line or better. And you can't even blitz with the DBs, you can only cover. I get that these rules are meant to make things higher scoring, but man, I don't like them. At least for this video game. The game doesn't add anything really in terms of game mechanics either, except this telemetry thing. Telemetry. It sounds like a scam call center in India. This thing tells you how healthy and tired your players are, but I never pay attention to it, and I hardly even notice it. The only footage I have of it is me activating it accidentally because it's tied to the right analog stick. Much like every game in this video, the biggest Achilles heel is the lack of content. You have a create a team, which is cool but limited. You have a season mode that's limited, not as limited as the last game. You can make trades, sign free agents, but nothing really to take note of. Not much content unless you count watching the trailer for MVP NCAA 06 as content. They could have just brought over the minicamp games from Madden or something, I don't know. While Arena Football seemed like a one and done game, you'd be wrong. We got a sequel a whole year later in 2007.
You fucking bitch, why you bully me? Everyone asking.
Arena Football Road to Glory. Now the unique thing with this game is the menu looks different, I guess, and the scoreboard looks different too. I got nothing. Yeah, this is a blatant copy and paste. If it wasn't for the UI, you would have zero clue which game is playing. The few differences I can see is when you start a franchise and there's an option for AF2. I have no clue what that is, but I looked it up and it's essentially a minor league for the AFL, which is just crazy to think about because the AFL itself is practically a minor league for the NFL. So this is like some Inception shit, a minor league within a minor league. You also have some mini games, but these are the corniest mini games known to man. Catch a touchdown as a receiver, kick a field goal. Whoa, that's some crazy stuff. Speaking of field goals, there's this mini game where you can pass the controller up to 8 players, but it's just kicking field goals. Arena Football Road to Glory is one of those sequels that makes the original game antiquated because this is just the original game with bad mini games and a minor league to play with, and you could set up certain in-game situations to jump into. That's it. There's no reason to ever go back to the previous game. And that would be it for the Arena Football games. Fun games in their own unique way, but are mostly made up of copy and paste jobs from much better football games. And really, that kind of sums up the Arena Football League perfectly. The AFL itself is very messy. This league is come and gone so much that you think it was a GTA 5 re-release. The 2024 season championship game was played in a mall, and isn't that kind of fitting? Two things that were both popular 20 plus years ago but are now slowly dying both come together for an event. Arena football would disband again and then come back as AF1. I don't know why they would name this thing the same initials as the Nike shoe. Great job making this impossible to Google. But something even more interesting is on their website there's an expansion section where you, yes you, or me, or anybody can submit a team to be considered to join this league. Like, this is just publicly out there. Well, I'm bringing this logo back, boys.